Did you guys shoot this weekend?
Yes, we shot on Saturday.
Oh my God, I have my funny story.
Oh yeah, you had to share something with us.
She's gonna share it with us in a
That's
little bit.
funny.
Oh, you
I
want to
have
share it now?
funny
Yeah,
I guess
story.
we
share
can share it now. Yeah. Tell us the story. So the title of the story is called. What did I say the story? The title was
Body of Christ.
Yes.
Oh.
The title of the story is Body of Christ. Don't worry, we're not gonna get canceled. All right. All right.
I go to the wedding. This is church ceremony, and they're doing communion, right? So, people lining up in the middle aisle. So I was walking my way to the side to get the side angles. And I was almost made it to the side. I hear metal clanking onto the ground,
Oh my
falling, crashing, right? So the old lady that was carrying Body of Christ tripped, fell, the whole thing.
Wait.
All the Body of Christ fell on the ground.
Did you get a photo of that?
So this was me walking and hearing all this commotion happening. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I walked to the side and I see
Oh my God.
everyone panic at first, looks at everyone, and then
The gas was been.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So priest and the lady, everyone and then they go down and grab, picks everything
Everyone
up.
just starts eating it.
and then they continue with communion. I was like, oh my God.
So they picked it up, put
Yeah,
it back
they
on
picked it
tray,
up,
and then they
yep.
ate it.
Yep, and then they did.
But there's
communion.
more to this. There's more to this, right? So later on, you're doing portraits.
One more. So this was so my wedding was in Jersey City. I'm at Liberty State Park, and group photos done. I'm about to start couples portrait, right? And I had the bride and dress all laid out, and groom's facing me, bride's facing me away, and I'm getting the back of her dress. And as I'm about to shoot, right behind me, Liberty State Park, it has the Statue of Liberty ferry and all that.
Yeah.
So I guess these three people going to the ferry right behind me. Like I'm here, she's right. There's three people walking right behind me. Falls. This girl falls.
All three of them?
just one girl. And then she's like, biggest scream ever. Like sharp scream. And then I kind of try to continue shooting, and the groom's facing me, so he's
saw
looking at all
everything,
this.
yeah.
So he's like in the middle of the photo, he's like sorry, so he starts cracking up. So I walk up to him, he's like, second time in today. So I was like,
somebody
whoa.
fell.
Yeah, somebody fell. I was like, I charged the lady, and now this. He's like cracking up, and so we like walked away. But
Oh my God.
Did you fall?
no, I didn't fall.
That's good.
Thankfully.
That's
Are we
just
are we
Ben.
going back to my
Yeah,
story?
yeah.
No, I think we covered it last
Just
week,
Ben
didn't
falling.
we? I think we covered it last
Ben
week. That
fall.
I fell.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we did.
very
That was
clumsy.
last week. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't fall this
Yeah.
weekend.
I
Yeah.
don't fall. I'm very
Neither.
cautious and aware of my surroundings.
Correct.
Ben is like total opposite. Yep.
Spacehead.
Yep.
I'm guilty as charged.
Total opposite.
Did I tell you the time that I worked with Moses and he rolled his ankle at church?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, you still got 6 hours to work.
It was like during the exit.
You did, right?
No, not me. It
Oh,
was
you did
Moses.
too, didn't
I
you?
rolled it at home though.
Okay.
It wasn't at the wedding.
Multiple times.
It was. I forgot what happened. I stayed inside the church while he followed them out, and then I just see like guests coming in. Oh my God! Somebody fell. Somebody fell.
Moses.
And I was like, oh, that sucks for the guest.
Yeah.
15 seconds later, I see Moses limping inside the church.
Oh no! Oh, you know what? I think I do have a church story to tell you, right? So about 3-4 weeks ago, I was also at a church. This is in Hoboken, right? And I'm trying to be discreet. I'm trying to be quiet, right? And this is a quiet part of the ceremony. And I'm near the front of the church. So I'm not, you have the sanctuary, and then on the sides you have, I guess, these little alcoves, these little cutouts, little vestibules where you can kind of like shoot through. So you're not necessarily in the sanctuary, but you can kind of shoot through it, right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to be quiet, trying to be discreet and everything. As I turn around, I forgot there was a candle. Those giant, big ass candles at the church, right?
Yeah.
Oh. You knocked it?
I knocked it, and,
Oh my
and my second
gosh.
shooter was about to die. She's trying not to
Oh my
laugh. She's
gosh.
like, "Oh my God, this is so
Oh
embarrassing."
my gosh.
This is why they don't allow us to walk around during
Yeah,
the
that's
Why do
right.
you keep
ceremony.
so much shit up there?
Oh my gosh.
During mass, we're not
Yeah.
supposed to walk around.
Could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Stay in one spot.
Yeah, it serves me right for trying to be creative. You know what I mean?
We're trying to shoot through the candle?
Don't be creative at church.
No. Just get what you need,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
it.
it.
Gotta
Yep.
get save shots. Yeah.
Get the safe shots. Yep.
That's
Oh
the
my
lesson
gosh.
of the day.
That's the lesson of the day. All right. Anyway, you guys focus now. You guys
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah,
now?
we're trying to be
Ready to get
focused.
this. Ready to get this
Let's do
podcast
it.
started.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
let's go. Let's go. guys. Welcome to the Focus AF podcast. My name is Ben,
I'm Karis.
This is Jen.
And this is Ro.
and we are Focused AF. I think today.
Yes.
I think we're focused today.
I am.
Although, no, you're not.
I am. I had a lot to set up.
He said all
It's
this
been
up.
Hamas
it's been
Express.
like
Yes.
2 months since we set up in person, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
I
a
think
while.
last
Yeah.
time we were here too, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's
last-
been.
yeah.
I'm a little rusty. I forgot where things go, but
Maybe-
That's how he was this weekend at the wedding. He's like, I don't even remember how
I
to use my
was
camera.
out of it.
I was like, we
man.
worked 2 weeks ago. How did
I was out
this
of it.
weekend?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like I was taking a portrait of the bride and her mom, and it was pretty dark. And usually I'm quick. I adjust my ISO. Shutter speed's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
quick. I was shooting at like 1/20th of a second,
Oh.
and I'm like, what
Oh
the
my
hell,
God.
what the hell is wrong with me? So I took the shots, and
Yeah,
I looked
yeah.
at Jen. I don't know what's wrong with me
Yeah.
today.
On the Z6 II?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the tricky thing. Shooting with mirrorless systems, there's no feedback. I don't know. Do you get a feedback when the shutter goes?
You do, yeah, but it was still pretty sharp. Like it still came out sharp.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, that's not like me to shoot like that.
Settings.
But
But-
halfway in, I was able to get my rhythm.
Yeah, but when it's mirrorless, like you don't get the feedback. You don't know when the camera actually took a picture.
With your Z8,
With
you,
my
you know
Z8.
your Z8 is a full electronic shutter.
It's all it's
So
I can't
the
make it
sound
mechanical.
you hear is actually audio.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is
it's
a
like
is a little
click,
speaker.
click, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I turned a little speaker on so that I can hear it at least, right? But I can't feel it. So when I'm on the dance floor and the music's loud, I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
So I just have to pray that my
But
shit's working.
G6 too, you hear it.
Yeah,
Even the silent
yeah,
shutter.
that-
You
No, no,
hear
but you can
the-
that
feel
has
it, though.
a-
You can feel it.
The Z6 II has mechanical
Yeah.
and electronic shutters.
Yeah. So, but the thing is with the mirrorless, I got it at 10 frames a second. So, sometimes I
you
end up
could
with
do
20 frames or
120
something.
frames with your Z8 a
No
second.
thanks.
Yeah.
I saw something where they were modifying the Z9s in Asia, and they were adding like animal sounds to the
Oh
shutter.
my gosh.
Yeah, because the Z9 is similar.
Mhm.
yeah.
So we should, when I get my Z, I'm gonna put like a goat screaming or something every time I take a shot. Yeah,
There's a goat screaming. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Anyway, I don't know how to segue into this, but we have a very special guest joining us today.
Videographers don't have this problem, I guess.
Yes,
There we go.
yes.
Segue into video.
Yeah, we have a very, very special guest today. Oh, you know what? All right, I met this gentleman during COVID, during one of those Zoom meetups. When we didn't have a lot of opportunities to like go out and work and stuff. So the community was still very active. We were still hanging out like you guys. We were hanging out with you guys as well. But it was important for us to kind of stay in touch, stay connected with our fellow colleagues. So that's why I met this talented gentleman. So welcome to the podcast, Marvin Flavien.
Yeah, I was wondering when the sound effects are coming in. Thanks for having me. So I like to say I'm a video marketing strategist because the way we help our clients is really to use video in a powerful way and strategically in their business. So yeah, we help coaches and service-based businesses really connect with the audience online using the power of video.
That's awesome.
Jersey, sir.
Yeah. So how long you been doing video? How long you been at this?
I've been at this for a minute now. I would say so I started off video editing first.
Mhm.
And then that's how I was into YouTube and things like that. So when I finally got like a camera, like one of those Canon Rebel series,
Mhm.
once I got that, I was able to start actually creating YouTube videos. Before I was just editing. So when I started YouTube, I was actually filming, and then I got into like doing like cosplay stuff. I was a collector. Shout out to Power Rangers. I was collecting Power Ranger toys
Mhm.
on YouTube, and then one of my boys found me doing it, and he was doing like cosplay stuff. So he was like, "Yo, you got a camera? You seem to know what you're doing. Let's start going to these conventions and filming it." So that's how I got really started, like actually going outside. Like before, I was just in my room doing my stuff. Then I went out. We started doing that, and then we kind of at the time we didn't really know what it was, but when I look back on it, we were pretty much like a mini cosplay media production company.
Yeah. Cosplay is huge.
Yeah. This was before.
What color is your outfit?
I wasn't dressing up yet.
Not yet.
I was the camera guy.
Which color ranger were you?
Oh, red.
Oh,
There
you're
you
red.
go.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have a dinosaur?
Do I have a?
A dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Which one is it?
The Red Ranger's not
Yeah,
the
That's
Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannosaurus
Yeah,
Rex.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was the character. Well, I don't know if you can pick your own dinosaur. When you're cosplaying.
Oh no, I mean, if you create your own stuff, yeah.
Huh?
But
It's like, yo, I want to be a Stegosaurus.
It's been like 30 seasons, so there's a lot to there's a lot to choose from. So
Actually, I saw a documentary on the Power Rangers and stuff too. Like
Recently?
recently within the last couple months. Yeah, it was pretty dope. Like there's like 1 million Power Rangers, or actually in that series, like there's different groups, there's different
Yeah.
teams and stuff.
Yeah,
But it's
kids
very
still
similar.
still keep up with it to this day.
It's still playing. It's still on.
Yeah.
Or-
Even,
Wow.
New season
even
on
the old
Netflix.
stuff, like the kids usually watch all of it, all the old stuff, new
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, but when I was watching it in the '90s, right? Like my biggest beef with it was like, yo, y'all could have been robots when the enemy showed up. You could have showed up as a robot. You could have stopped their asses. Why do you have to wait until that?
Till you get beat up.
When you get your asses kicked, then you turn into a robot. If it were me, I would have been in the robot from minute one. You know what I mean?
The robot.
I mean, what say you, Marvin?
I mean, it's all about the progression. You start off with the conflict and see how you can resolve it. You realize you can't.
Yeah,
bring your
you're
team
going
in.
straight Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Like, no mercy.
Storytelling.
No mercy.
It's like it's like when you go into jail, you just find the biggest, baddest motherfucker and just punch him in the face, right? Like you don't even. There's no progression. You just go straight to the.
Look at me.
To the top.
I'm the captain.
All right, so you were doing these cosplay productions
Yeah.
for a little while,
Yeah.
right? And then you were doing that for a little while, and then what was the transition from that? What was the next? What
Then
was
I
the
got
next?
into wedding.
Then you went to
Yeah.
weddings.
Because, once you got a camera, everyone start asking you
That's
to.
right. Yeah.
Come on.
Why
Oh,
would
you
you
have
do
a
such
camera?
thing?
Yep. So that's how I got into it. And then I just did a bunch of weddings. And then through the time, like what I was noticing, like these organizations were like, oh, we really need a video for our like convention because at the time I didn't know it was marketing, but really it was like creating promo, creating hype around it, getting people to like get excited for the next event and things like that. So that's when the marketing started. That's when I wanted to start diving deep into the marketing side of everything. So and then just do that, just really just seeing like the possibilities, working with like business owners and just diving deep on that for the last probably like 6 years. And then
Nice.
So he
Yeah.
jumped into weddings and he jumped right back out.
Yeah. And you have most weekends off now, I'm
pretty
assuming.
much, yeah.
So why did you jump out of weddings?
It wasn't more so like I wanted to get out of it. It was just more so I was very busy. So like when I first started my business, I was like going to a lot of networking events. Like every event there was, I was there. And I kind of got burned out a little bit. And also too, like I was doing that, filming during the week, then doing the whole weekend. I kind of got, when I-
7 days a week. That's tough.
yeah. And when I realized
editing too.
True. Yeah. So all that time spent, my kids were young and everything. So it was just more so like I can't keep going at this rate.
Right.
And that's how video kind of played a huge role in it because once I started like going to these events, like I was actually starting creating content too. So now these people started to see me more, recognize me more, and I was going to these events less. And that kind of like catapulted into like, using video as an asset, more or less than like, hey, go to these networking events and connect with them on social media so they can see my work and then connect with them and like get them like as a client or just, do the thing. So it became more strategically so I didn't have to do a lot of that work. And so
So
Nice.
you're all self-taught with everything, right?
nah.
Did you study did you study under someone? You work under anyone?
Yeah, well, I had mentors,
Mhm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I think I learned like how to sell video, how to like position it to business owners through yeah, I had a mentorship that I was a part of for like 2 years.
Mhm.
It was awesome. Shout out to Video Warriors. They taught me everything I know. But more so they kind of brought out like all the stuff that I really enjoyed about like the psychology of like why people like how to use video, like psychology of marketing, things like that. So that kind of brought it out. But before that, like I didn't know how to sell it, like I didn't know what to do when I was in the sales meeting. So that kind of gave me like my foundation and just do like, more diving deep into like meeting business owners, seeing what they need, seeing what they what they understand. Because as a creative, we're like, we know, but they don't really care about that. How do we relate like the creative work to like a business problem? So once I started seeing like, oh, I can use video to solve business problems, then everything started changing for me. So
Do you find a lot of your clients are also in the creative field or they're not in the creative field?
not really.
They're not in
Uh,
the creative field.
Yeah. I mostly work with like coaches and like service-based business owners, people who consider themselves like industry leaders and things like that. So they they're more so on a mission. They're trying to achieve things. They have big goals and big dreams. So it's like this is something they kind of don't really want to do. They have people help them in all aspects of business. So this is like the next thing. Like, yeah, help me showcase like what we're great at and how we
Mhm.
can connect with our people. Well, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to spend time and energy worrying about that. So it's more like they have other things they want to do, and like this is kind of like the thing. Like let's let someone else handle that.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, like even speaking as a coach myself, right? Like a lot of the people that I come across, they're really great at what they do. Whatever they sign up to do, like as their career, they're really excellent at producing that product or producing that service. But like all the other stuff, they either don't care for it too much, or they don't they have no interest in doing that part, or maybe they just feel like they're not they feel like someone else can do a better job than they can, and that's why they seek someone out like you, Marvin. Yeah, it's a very big step, but it's a very important step. I wish most folks would take a little earlier, when to delegate some of those tasks out. That
Yeah.
'Cause
A lot of times it's the financial aspect of it.
yeah, because you always think as a business owner only you can do it, right? And you do it best, right? But the thing is, there are a lot of talented people out there who could potentially do it better than you can. You know what I mean?
Even if they do it 95%, that's good enough for me.
AI can get you to 95%.
One day it will. One day it will.
So what kind of videos are you putting together for clients now?
So a lot of brand videos to like kind of showcase who they are, what they're about, their story, their message, how that relates to clients, how they putting stuff out into the world, and then also to really just helping to create content. I look at video in two ways. It's more like offense and defense. So like if you're putting stuff out into the world, we call that offense. If you are for defense is more like putting videos where places people need to make a decision about you.
Mhm.
So that's where these video assets kind of play a role, and that's what we're big on. Like our brand videos, we call it a video business card. Because it's more like when someone wants to know about a company, they watch this video and get
Yeah.
like indoctrinated, like all the stuff they need to know to make a decision if they want to work with you or not. And then we also do like the offense, which we consider content. So putting things out into the world to like get your message out, reach new people, reach a new audience, and things like that. So that's kind of like in the levels that we're playing at right now.
Yeah, a light bulb really went off for me because I think I saw a post recently. You mentioned something about a video business card, right? I was like, that's really smart,
Mhm.
Because the thing is, when you introduce yourself, like I'm Ben, I'm a photographer, I'm a wedding photographer, I do wedding photos and stuff, right?
Just
That's it.
airdrop the video to somebody. Hey,
It's like, hey, this is what I
like,
do.
listen,
You got 2 minutes?
go somewhere quiet, watch this, and then come back. Come back to me.
Go to the bathroom and watch this.
But I feel like because I do ads too, right? And I feel like and just looking at the numbers, just looking at straight numbers, my video is outperforming my photo content.
Yep.
It's the same copy, it's the same everything, right? But the video outperforms the photos.
Yeah.
And
It could also be the algorithm too. Like the
It could be
algorithm
that
will
too.
show it to more.
Well, in the past few years, video has been
Yeah.
taking priority
Yep,
over
yep.
photos.
yeah, so like
Completely.
organically, that's been the case, but also in the ads, I can see what the response has been.
Mhm.
They'll distribute my photos and my videos to the same audience, and the video always I get a better response. I get a better click through rate. I get a better return on my money too. It's
Mhm.
cheaper for me to deliver videos actually than photos.
In the past few years, Marvin, have you noticed the shift in like more people wanting more videos because of like Instagram and TikTok, YouTube?
It's
And
fu-
OnlyFans.
No, not OnlyFans.
his cosplaying OnlyFans. When you go to his OnlyFans, Marvin, it's an MK Flav on OnlyFans. He dressed up in a dinosaur suit.
No comment.
yeah, no comment.
You got to sign up for that.
yeah.
This is what I'm a drink and a half in. This is what you get. This is a very professional podcast.
What's funny about that, in 2019, I did a video, like a live stream, like why businesses should need to go visual in 2020.
Mhm.
And we were talking about like the need for like connection, need for like people need to like see, they need to see like show don't tell kind of thing. And then look what happened. Like
Mhm.
everything shifted where we couldn't go out, we couldn't network, people couldn't go into your store, physically. Social media content took off, like TikTok. I mean, TikTok was around, but it wasn't like what it is
Yeah.
now. So that kind of took off. Then Instagram Reels came out, I think, a year later. So like this kind of stuff I've been saying since 2018, honestly.
Yeah.
But now it's more prevalent. Now people finally see it and catching on. Now it's not so much like a nice to have. It's almost like you kind of need this, or else like Instagram's like they even said it, like we're prioritizing video on this app. I don't know when they said that, but they said it a while ago. But like, yeah, I think it's more prevalent now more than ever to stand out And I think people don't realize like these platforms only care about themselves. They don't care
Yeah.
about us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they want people on their platform as long as possible. What's going to keep them longer on the platforms? Video. So it's almost like it's like
Oh yeah.
it's like the
Videos,
recipe to like
Mhm.
if you want more engagement, if you want like more reach, like this is what you need to do because like these platforms want people to stay on their platform as long as possible. So it's almost like playing their games, get what we want. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
House rules, man. You know, it's the game sucks. Sometimes you just have to play it to your favor. You just got to learn the rules and play it to your favor.
The YouTube algorithm is. I'm on there for hours.
Yes. Yes.
We know that.
We know.
We know
We
that.
know that. Yeah.
I'll watch one video and like
Your
That's
main,
lies.
main
It's
job.
lies.
yeah. Next thing you know, I'm
Your
like,
wife says that that's a lie.
Contractor.
I'm watching somebody excavate a pond, add some koi
You're
fish.
basically on their payroll.
then I'm watching some concrete people. Like you name it.
Yo,
Yeah.
do you know what I've been watching on YouTube?
What?
I'll share with you guys. Do you guys know what sand fleas are?
Sand fleas?
Mhm.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're abundant down the shore. They're all like you go to the beach, they're everywhere, right? Fishermen
That's
use
the
them.
little bubbles that you see when you're walking.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So a lot of fishermen use them as bait, right? But they're like basically little shrimp, and you can actually like catch them, and then like you bread them and you fry them. It tastes like soft shell crabs.
Oh, nice.
Did you know that?
That's what you were watching on YouTube?
For the whole fucking week. That's what I've been doing. Like how what?
That's
Sand fleas
seafood,
binge.
catching live lobsters and cooking it on the beach and eating it. He's always at like 2 a.m. like sound on max. I'm
So
like,
you guys prove or the example of why we need video.
Pretty much.
And also, it's to the point too. Like the first question he asked us was like, "Is your podcast on YouTube?" And everyone asked that first. I don't know why.
yeah, a lot of people have
People
been
are
asking me
drawn
lately.
more
Yeah.
to like.
Why you gotta
Watching
look at
on
our face?
YouTube.
Why you gotta look at our faces? You don't have to look at my face.
But that's the thing. I don't know. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
for me, I always have YouTube on, open on the tab.
Yeah, me too.
All the time.
So what's on your history? In your history,
I
what do you
have,
watch? Jake?
I have 4 YouTube channels. I have a gaming YouTube channel, I have a wrestling YouTube channel, I have a video YouTube channel. So like all my feeds are all different. So I'm like consume a lot of stuff on YouTube. So it's like it's the first thing that I pop on.
Oh, you
That's
mean
how
you have 4 accounts, and you want the
Yeah, 4
algorithm to
channels.
learn what you're trying to
Well,
watch?
it's already like learned because like I watch 4 different types of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's the gamut is
Yep.
massive.
It's so
like-
true.
Yeah.
It'll start throwing similar. The algorithm sees what you watch and it
Yeah.
just keeps feeding you other people's stuff that
Because they want
that
you
are
on the
similar.
platform, so they keep
right,
Exactly.
serving you that same
click,
stuff.
click, click.
Mhm.
Yeah, so one of the channels that I watch is these concrete guys, right? No, but check this
These are
out.
the people he goes to work with every day.
Here where I'm going with this.
This man's voice is in my house all day long. I hear this guy. I'm like,
Can
"Where do you
I-
work,
He
Paul?"
moved in.
Can I finish my story?
I'm letting people know about your part-time job.
So he's built this channel for the last couple years or so, right? He's a concrete business owner. He has employees, right? Now his
And
employees.
you're one of his employees.
Yes,
no,
yes.
no. So now his employees started making their own YouTube, doing their side jobs.
Mm.
The algorithm has recognized that they're associated with that channel,
So you get,
and within weeks, those employees had 90,000 subscribers
yeah.
oh
too.
wow, yeah.
So it's doing a good job at like recognizing what you watch, and if there's something that's similar, it's gonna throw it at
Oh,
you,
yeah.
and it's gonna shove
Yep.
it down your
Yeah,
eyes.
YouTube recommended feed is the best.
Yeah,
I watch people who do like long care.
yeah, me
stuff,
too.
Mm.
Yeah.
And mobile
You
details.
guys are so
Gardening,
excited.
gardening.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. These people get millions
Yeah.
of views on their
Yeah.
channels.
There's
I am person never on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah.
Me too.
So, yeah,
I never.
You know
did.
what? If-
I'm a YouTube.
like there's a lot. There's what's pretty big right now in the lawn care community is people that are like going to like abandoned houses
Yeah, doing like free
or
work.
or houses that look overtaking, and they're cutting and reshaping their lawn.
Just
I've seen
for-
some of those.
Like
for free.
makeover.
Just
yeah.
for free,
They're
right?
just doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
for free. And
People just
Sometimes
like
there's
watching
residents
it.
in there. They say, "Hey, can I do your
right,
lawn?"
Yeah.
this I saw one episode. The guy was cutting this house was overtaken, right?
Mhm.
He starts cutting the lawn. He asks the neighbors, hey, he's like, I haven't seen the guy in a while. There was a dead body in the house.
Oh,
Yeah. So as he's cutting the grass, he smelled.
It was the old guy? Or,
Yeah, he
oh,
passed
just
away in the
away.
house, and
oh
he-
my
he,
goodness.
he had to
And he
stop
just-
cutting the grass, call the
They
police.
found him in the grass in the weeds.
No, he was inside the house.
Oh,
and
my
he
God.
passed
Yo,
away.
your grass is pretty bad.
What happened? I think one window was slightly open. So when he was cutting the lawn, he smelled the
yeah,
stench,
yeah, something's wrong.
and he peeked in. He knew.
But was it occupied though?
Yeah, the guy.
It was the
Well,
owner, old guy died.
yeah. So he knocked on the door.
You're not getting better.
Yeah.
No, I thought maybe his wife answered the door. And
No,
she
it
was-
was
it's
one guy
probably
who
by
lived alone.
himself,
He
yeah.
he tried knocking on the door, nobody answered. So he talked to the neighbors. The neighbors were like, yeah, we would appreciate it if you do cut the lawn because it's kind of
yeah,
ugly.
yeah.
And they were like, we haven't seen the guy in weeks.
Yeah.
He was decomposing inside the
Oh.
house. Yeah,
Crazy, yeah.
it's crazy. But
You
yeah,
watch some
that's what the
weird
algorithm
shit.
shows me.
That's some
You
weird
know,
shit. I thought I watched
it-
some weird shit.
Yeah.
That's some weird shit.
But that's the
I feel
power.
for you, Jen.
Thank you.
The power of video and the
Yes.
algorithm.
Oh my god.
Just sucked you in.
Tell us more, Marvin, about the power of video.
Well, look, I think like as creatives, like they're always looking for resources, like how to get better. So I think that's why I asked, like, is this on there? Because like they're always
Yeah.
looking for stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
So do you have a formula that you've maybe it's what do you call it? It's proprietary. Do you have a proprietary formula for making or creating captivating videos to capture your audience?
yeah,
You know,
Of course.
is it proprietary? Are you allowed to share with us?
I don't know if it's proprietary.
Yeah. This is the MK Flav exclusive.
I think you talking about for like anyone to like do for themselves or like how to get started.
Yeah, when you're creating video content, what are some of the important things that you need to
Yeah.
consider when
So,
you're making video
the
content?
most important thing I do is really get to know the people I'm trying to film. You know, I think that's the most important thing. Like, what is the story? Look, a lot of times people just show up on the day and expect like, oh, shoot this, shoot that. Like, yes, man, I'm not.
Do you ever ask them who their target audience is?
Of
Like,
course,
yeah,
That's
like-
the most important thing.
yeah, that's
We
the
gotta
most
know who we're
important
talking to. You know,
thing. Mhm.
Mhm.
because if we don't know who we're talking to,
You don't know what we're
You
filming
might be talking
for.
to the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. What
It's
we
gonna be
doing?
Rolando Molina. Just keyword grass and concrete.
Yeah, you'd be
And-
surprised. People just think you just turn on the camera and just start talking. Like, you need to know who you're talking to. Like, I tell my clients all the time, like, especially when we're doing our content, like, have that person in your head. Like, give them a name. We give them a name, like who they are, what do they do, what are the things that they want, what are the things that they need. Like, we need to speak to, you know, the problems that they're having, the goals that they want to achieve in their business and life, because that's how we get them to like get their attention. You know?
and connect in a
Yeah,
meaningful
exactly.
way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People think it's all about like this flashy stuff, using trendy sounds, but it's no. It's like when you call out what someone needs in a video, and that's the first thing they see. I need that.
Mhm.
They are going to listen. You know.
Yeah, I talked about it about this yesterday's class when I was teaching my Meta Ads class about knowing your audience. Because the thing is, you know, everyone, you guys included, right? There's conversations happening inside your head. They're not out in the open. They're private, right? And there's these thoughts and things that you have challenges and struggles that you're trying to figure out, right? But you don't put them out in public, right? These are all in your brain. But if somebody out there is having that conversation, you will probably engage with them. They will have your attention because you're saying a lot of things that they're thinking. So that's why it's like that's awesome that, you know, Marvin's saying that. And I think that we can all learn from that, you know, as creatives, you know, like it's not so much just about the product, it's about your audience, about serving your audience, understanding what they want to see. And that way, you know how to serve them better. You know what I mean?
What's the next step in the recipe?
I mean, I think that's the best way to start.
Little
Is like
salt.
figure out
Sprinkle a little salt.
what it is, and then honestly too, like, and then like, what is like, you know, when people say share your story, share your message, but like, what about your story and your message relates to that person that you're trying to reach? How you can make that attracting, how you can make that impactful for them to listen to and watch. You know, then once you have that, you kind of have like an idea what you want to do, what you want to talk about, and then you just show up and show you know, show what you're about. I think a lot of times people try to make it too complicated when if you just explain certain things, like why do you do what you do? Why do you do it this way? There's a wedding filmmaker right now. His name is Justin Porter Media. He is like going crazy right now because he's pretty much changing the game when it comes to wedding filmmaking. He's doing like reality TV style, like videos, documentary type stuff. It's amazing. And when you hear his passion of why he like, and he kind of went viral because he puts a mic on everybody. And he did a funny reel because he does
no.
behind the scenes. Hey, hear me out. Listen, he just like he did like a behind the scenes showing like him putting like, oh, you get a mic, you get a mic, you get a mic. Because why? Because these are the like he wants to make sure he captures all the moments.
Everyone.
You know, all the moments. Like when people think when the camera is on you, like do you think that's what they want? But it's all the in between stuff that they forget about or they didn't even notice or didn't even see.
Yeah, it's so
right?
true.
He's,
And then-
he's doing a photo approach, but like with
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like for us
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
easier because like
We
We
don't
could
have to
just
mic
comment
we don't have
everybody.
to
Yeah,
hear nobody
right.
calling somebody
Yes,
out
yes.
behind
Do you know
the
what?
scenes.
Do you know one of my favorite things to watch? Probably on YouTube, right? It's like when you watch these football games, it's not the football game that's funny. It's all the stuff that's happening on the sidelines,
yeah.
the conversations that they're having on
Yeah.
the sideline, right? That's the kind of vibe I'm getting, right?
Yeah.
I
But
love
I
that
wonder
stuff.
when
But
they
it's
get
all-
that on, do you feel like they'd like
They play it up?
Switch it?
stop
Sometimes
it.
they
No.
forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way he
I think
films,
in a little bit, yeah.
and the way
they
he
forget.
films, he's recording all the whole
At first,
time.
I'm sure they're aware of it.
Yeah, but eventually,
Yeah.
yeah,
They forget, yeah.
yeah.
And
People
then
forget all the
and then
time.
he's
He must
asking
get
them
some wild
questions.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He starts asking them questions. Like there's this one clip where like the bride is like in a chair, like they're doing the makeup, and the makeup artist is like, I feel like you're gonna have to cry. Like I feel like you're about to cry. And she's like, no, I'm okay, I'm okay. And she's like, and then she gave him a moment. And she's like, yeah, she started bawling because and what happened was she lost her mom, you know, and like she was always thinking about this day. And like it's like those stuff, you know, like you don't get to see that if you're like not like looking for that story and having the mic on the bride.
Also from a photo standpoint, like if I take a photo of that bride crying, there's no story to it. Just all right, she's we know if she's sad or happy. But if you have the audio and you can hear the makeup artist, like you kind of know like what the story is behind that, which is awesome.
That's why I tell a lot of my couples, you got the budget for it, get video, because there's a certain element that we can't capture as photographers. We can imply motion, but we can't actually capture it. We can imply it, right? We can kind of imply the emotions that are taking place, right?
There's no sound either.
There's no sound. There's no audio. We don't know what you're saying during the toasts. You know what I mean? We just know that it's very impactful. It's very powerful, but we don't know what you're actually saying.
Yeah.
So that's where video comes in handy. They can actually show all that stuff.
Shout out to Justin Porter.
Yeah, he's the
We're gonna give him some free
Check
press.
it out.
He's changing the game, man. And like I was saying about him, like his method to why he does that. And now they know why he does what he do, and you see the results too. And now it's more deeper. So when you do see it now, it's like I get it now why he does it, his passion behind this,
And it's completely different than a regular cliche wedding video with the song playing in the background, the same B-roll,
exactly,
the same vows, kids dancing.
I'm just thinking to myself, this guy's got to listen to 8 hours of audio from
Imagine,
10 different mics.
What behind the scenes drama?
He has nailed down this process.
What's that?
He has nailed down this process. So yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah.
He must be really good at like keeping things under wraps.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but he probably has
you have to.
stories to tell.
You have to, like, if they say anything inappropriate, it's not gonna hurt anyone. I feel like you could add that.
Well,
stuff,
he syncs it up with the clip. So usually, like the mic is running all the time, but then he has like they know like when they're filming, like they just like sync it to the clips that they have. So if there's no like clip for it, I guess you don't really use it. But it's when like they find a moment.
It's all his stuff he has in the vault.
Yeah.
No one will ever hear.
That's for the private collection.
I've heard stories from videographers of bride and grooms forgetting to take the mic off and
they're saying some shit.
Yes.
And not only saying, having a little 10 minutes after the ceremony
Hey.
and forgetting the mic is on.
No, actually, I had a groom mic'd up once because I do slideshows and I have some things, some of those audio elements in their slideshow, and I think I had the mic on by accident during the portraits and stuff, and I had to do the poses and stuff, and I guess I got them a little close, and the hands, and he was just making sexual innuendos for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It's like, ooh, we're going to do some of this later? Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tear it up.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm hearing this. I really meant to do it just for the vows and the toast, and I got more than I bargained.
At the end of the
I got
secret
more
end of
than
the
I
video.
bargained for.
No, but I like that concept of like it's more storytelling and I think
it's
being able to do that with video is
It's not just
important.
about. I mean, we already know that like, if it's a wedding video, it's about the couple, right? But now you're
incorporating everybody else.
incorporating the family, the guests, the vendors. Like, that's awesome.
It's definitely a new approach. It's really refreshing. Definitely helps you stand out above the noise.
So the videos that you do for businesses, coaches, and things like that, I know you want them to portray like themselves, tell a story. How do you deal with people that are not camera friendly?
You mean the ugly?
No.
There's
people
people
like
that-
bro
Yeah,
who can't
There's
talk in front of
people
the camera.
that shut down as soon as the camera.
yeah.
Just
So
you know.
clarifying. Just clarifying. That's all.
well, that's why I love what I do because I like no one's like they say I'm not great on camera, but I say if your person was sitting right in front of you, you wouldn't know what to say, right? You wouldn't know how to talk to them. So it's like it's more about me bringing out them on camera. And how we do that is like I said before we get on camera, we know what we're talking about. I spend time diving deep into like what the things that we're going to talk about on camera. They don't have to memorize a script. It's just a conversation. I'm just pulling stuff out from them, when they do get on camera. So, and that's really it, really just making it, create an environment where they feel comfortable. And they already do. They trust me. They trust our process, So it's more about me just bringing the stuff that we talked about prior out from them on camera. So that's really it.
So now for when you're doing branding, working with businesses, what kind of strategies do you put in place for like I'm sure there's a different strategy for like websites, social media,
Yeah.
etc.
We like to look for, first of all, we look for things that are working well in your business, right? So we look at things that you're probably repeating, like getting people to know you, talking about yourself, things that you're already doing that works. Like you have a product and service that's selling is good. People know about it. They love it. We look at what video we can create to like automate it, but essentially like we're trying to accelerate that process with video. So anywhere a decision is being made, we want to have a video there. You know, a video on the website. Once they sign up, a process of what it's like to work with you. You know, or a specific service or product that needs more attention to detail. People need to know more about how this works, what goes into it. Have a video there for that. You know, so it's more about looking at their system and their process they have in place and how we can implement video into there. And then once we do that, it's more like what are the goals, what are their dreams, what are they trying to do? If they are trying to launch a program or get people to come to a tree, like give some testimonials for like, you know, it's really just looking at their business as like a whole and like how can we implement video into this? And we always look at the things that they're good at and what they're already doing and how we can accelerate what they're already doing and use video in that sense.
And did you make like shorter form videos for like Reels, Instagram?
Of course. Yeah. So we like to take a strategic approach to that. We create long form content and use that for short form. If you're gonna work with me, we want to maximize our time and effort, right? Why are we just gonna create for just one platform? You know, every platform's different. Everyone has their advantages. Like YouTube, like, is good for SEO, search, being recommended, and things like that. TikTok is good for organic reach and things like that. Instagram is good for like nurturing an audience. So like, why not create for every single platform?
At the moment, you're a consumer, Rolando. We're not creators just yet.
Well, we're about to be.
After today,
we're about to put these 4 faces
on YouTube.
I don't know if YouTube wants to see this face.
Yeah, I don't know.
Question for you: what's the best way? Okay, if we wind up going into YouTube,
we will.
We will. Is the setup okay? Or does it have to be like these crazy high production things? No. Or you just like as long as you have something up?
Yeah. Because it's more about like your people. It's not so much, and I always tell people, video's not about you. It's about the people, your audience who on the other side, you know? Obviously make sure that like you sound good. They can see you in the video. But really comes down to is like, this is for your audience, right? There's probably photographers right now searching like, how do I do this? How do I, you know, grow my business? How do I get leads? Things like that.
So it's more good for search because like you can't really do that like on Spotify.
No,
you can't be like
yeah.
That's
search
what
for.
You actually you can search.
I know that's what I'm trying to
say.
As a YouTube consumer, this is why I've been saying, because it's basically how Instagram is now, right? People say Instagram is dead, but most of our leads come from Instagram. Why is that? Not because of the reach. It's because people are going on the platform and searching for what they want. They know what they're looking for, right? YouTube is the same. If I want to learn how to overseed my lawn, I search it. I get a ton of videos.
YouTube
right?
is all that.
It's called search. It's
and it's owned by Google. Google's #1. So
and YouTube's #2.
And people will probably put it on sometimes not even watch the video as long as they still get the audio, like they have it up while they're working.
And then you have the YouTube Shorts, which could be like a blooper. It could be like a small little nugget that you want to give people, and then that'll funnel them to your page. And
YouTube Shorts.
You know, that's I've been talking to Jen about this because some of the stuff that I get hooked onto is watching the everyday life of something, right? We don't have, I haven't seen wedding photographers do that. But how can we, I keep thinking, how can I make...
Our lives are not that interesting.
Exactly. So how can I make it interesting and relatable? That will require me recording everything I do, everything, like my editing and recording when I go to a session, recording when I'm at a wedding, you know what I mean? And
just constantly recording.
That's the constantly recording, constantly editing. You want to be the Casey Neistat of wedding photography?
Not to that extent. But
it's real life.
Shout out to Casey Neistat.
Real life, but real life of a wedding photography.
It can also be life changing for you. It could change your life if you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and now you monetize that.
The next
but you're
Mr.
like
Beast.
channel. Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
No, that's millions. That's millions of subscribers.
That's nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah.
Think about it. People think you don't need that big of an audience. If you have a $200, $300 product, 1,000 people buy that. Like, you don't need 10,000. You don't need 100,000. It's really just honing in on who you're, I would say niche, but like that audience. And I would say for that, like it's hard to like think of what you can have to create if you don't have anything. Right. But if you already have stuff, then you can like, oh, maybe this can go here. Maybe I can create something out of this. So I would start saying like, start recording everything. Like
Mhm.
when you get to the venue, or even before, like prepping. How do you prep for a wedding?
Yeah.
What goes into it? You know, like
Right.
what are the kind of
Like
things
the
that
everyday life.
exactly I'm pretty sure couples don't know like what goes
Yeah.
into it. You know, like
Mhm.
what how and then how do they relate to them? You know, or and funny thing about I'm gonna go back to Justin. A lot of times, so he has his wife who films his reactions, and one of the things that took off in their style of content was him being excited over gear and it going straight over her head, like like talking about gear, like stuff, obsessing over gear and stuff, and it's like. But then he also talks about how he's gonna use it and make these awesome videos for the clients and stuff. So it's almost like they might not know anything that was being said, but they see how excited he is and how he's going to use it in
Yeah.
his weddings. And sometimes he shows it after what he does. So it's almost like thinking about like how what you do and how that relates to your clients, you know, and like
Right.
how you can put a spin on it, you know, and don't be afraid to try new things, because I think when we're in that like creative and trying to find things like, and we're not trying to be like, you know, cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that people love,
It's-
and that what takes off.
It's
you know?
so true. Just the reel you made of me shooting film now.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Like,
the bride's mom on
that got
Saturday, she's
shared.
like, "So you guys got this vintage camera?" I was like, "What are you talking
I was
about?"
like, oh, I
She's like,
forgot. Yeah, I do.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah." He took his film camera out and then he shot some shots with the film. But
Yeah.
it's true. Whatever little new thing you can show them on video
Yeah.
But that also got shared
Yeah.
14 times. We don't know who shared it, but it could have been clients sending it to each other, or to, you know, oh look, they're shooting film now. Like you hype them up. I like that.
You know what I haven't seen? Like BTS photographers work, like just the whole straight up video, just 3-4 hour, not 3-4 hours, 3-4 minutes of just photographers just working.
There's,
you know?
I've seen
there's a handful.
There's a few
handful,
educators who have it, but they share on their like education platforms.
yeah, on their like
So you're basically-
Patreons.
You're paying
Yeah,
whatever,
just
and then they'll
subscribe it,
have their
yeah.
whole day on film. And
Oh,
they'll
you're
do-
right, you're right, you're right.
Jasmine Starr did this years ago when I was following her when she was still in photography. She did a whole work day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have some BTS, but not a lot of BTS of me working.
You'll need
Yeah.
a you'll need
You need a
whole
person just following you around.
just
Yeah.
That's the
BTSing
thing too,
you.
to,
Yep.
to bring someone else to
Assist
kind
third
of
person.
and
get
to
all that film.
remember, it's like, for example, you know how like we're, let's say we're at a venue and we're like, oh my god, this would be cool for like a
Yeah.
night shot or whatever, and then, you know, recording that, like, I think this will look, you know, explain your process, and then actually doing it and then showing the result
Yeah.
will probably lead to a lot.
You got to get a
of,
social media creator, you know?
Yeah.
One for
Yeah.
the bride and
You
one
need
for
a
you.
whole you need a whole person.
That's what an assistant's for.
yeah, assistant.
They're cheaper
yep.
than
Yeah.
Cheaper than the social media creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the assistant.
That's awesome. You know, of really
Record a whole
really
day, yeah.
thinking of outside of the norm
Yeah.
of like the typical, you know, branding and business marketing materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go create a video business card now.
Just
Yeah.
don't do it in your radio voice.
Why not? I like my
Welcome.
I like my radio voice.
Then we're like, "Ooh, no, don't want to look at that guy."
I have the face for radio, you know?
So, Barbara, what tips would you give like small businesses who don't have like the budget or the time you have to hire someone as yourself to kind of strategize in their own business?
First thing is look at the things you're doing, look at the things that you're repeating, how we can talk about that more, show a video of that. And don't be so afraid of the phone, man. Like there's people making careers with this thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like
True.
the quality of these phones have increased a lot over
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
decades.
But not for a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Not for photo.
We're not going to get replaced. Our jobs are still safe, guys.
Video wise, it's pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot. And I think the thing is when people try to like do like professional when they don't even know what they're doing, you know. But when you see like obviously make sure your face light is coming towards you, not behind you. Make sure you're close enough where they can hear you, things like that, technical stuff. But like honestly think like don't be afraid to like just use your phone in that sense. But start there. I think understand too like who your audience is. What kind of content are you gonna start putting out there? What are the things that they want? You know, what are we gonna do? Are we trying to attract people to us? Are we trying to get stuff out there? Like you gotta answer those questions first before you even like turn on the camera. But other than that, don't be afraid to just try, put yourself out there, you know, because there's so much like even if like people say who's gonna watch our stuff, but like that's even better. Try. This is the perfect time to try. No one's really quote unquote watching. You know, don't be afraid to try and fall in that sense because these are the times where like when you actually being creative and actually trying to like do stuff and you don't have the budget, like you essentially don't have anything to lose in that sense. People sometimes I think people get in their head and try to like stop themselves from trying to do something when it's like if you don't have the resources, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to try new things and try different avenues with when it comes to video or social media in general. So that's what I would say. Anything just when you're just starting out. So
Just go for it.
I'm surprised you haven't
Done what?
like post your stuff to like your live. Why don't you just take those videos and put them?
Ben,
can ask
out
him.
of all of us, Ben's got the most content.
Right.
So
That's what I'm saying.
and even
going on,
wedding,
man?
even wedding day, he has his
Yeah.
GoPro on.
All you gotta do is
And
put
he
that
has
on
the vlogging
YouTube.
camera. He has so much video
He
content.
has all these
Yeah.
I do have a
educational
content.
things already. Why?
I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're all
much,
edited
so
and done.
much, Yep.
I've got
And I
hundreds
tell
of
him all the
videos,
time.
hundreds.
The photographers I've seen that are big on YouTube, right? They're doing what you mentioned, Marvin, where they're giving you free content and then they're selling you a course, and they're selling it for like $3,000, and they have, let's say, I think one of them has like 20,000 subscribers. If he sells to like 1,000 subscribers, $3,000 a course, like that's what they're really. That's
Oh,
where
yeah,
they're really
yep.
making their money.
I gotta edit that shit, man. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy.
No,
I
but
gotta-
your lives you don't have to edit because they're already
Yeah, you
up.
just put them right
Yeah.
up.
Throw them in there.
first thing we talked about was delegating. Remember?
And he
I do delegate. I
delegates
delegate.
everything. I'm like, why?
You know
Find
what?
yourself an
I'm just
intern.
creating.
Yeah.
I'm just busy creating. Now I gotta delegate it. Yeah. I'm just very busy.
It's not busy.
Oh
I'm
my
a single mom. What do you do?
I'll tell you what I did this morning.
Yeah, you went to the gym. You went to the liquor store. I know that.
No, I did not go to the liquor store.
Or you went to the shop, right?
That's
yeah,
right.
you have all these videos.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of content. There will come a day when I have to put that. You know what though? Like some of this content I created when I had hair. So like there's gonna be a timeline to all this.
You've had the
Doesn't
same
matter,
hair in
yeah,
the past
doesn't
2
matter.
years.
Doesn't matter.
Just
I
put
saw-
an AI hat on or something. Put a sombrero or something.
put a mask on your face.
But
Okay?
you know what? Back to what Marvin was saying, right? When I first started, I didn't know my ass from my head. You know, like I didn't know anything. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
that's your head.
Yes, it is. But like that was the best time to do it because I had nothing to lose. I didn't have an audience yet, you know? So I was just like, I was a little nervous at first about being judged and whatnot, but like I had no one, I had like what, 2 or 3 visits.
So is that why you're not putting it on YouTube? More exposure?
Oh, the old shit? Yeah, I'm not putting that. It was terrible anyway.
well,
you know?
within the past year at least.
Yeah.
Or just
Past year's good
or going
content.
forward. You don't have
Yeah.
to put. You don't have
Yeah, at least past year you have, and you have
Past
YouTube
year is good
channels.
content.
Multiple YouTube
Past year's
channels
been pretty
too.
good content, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
been
have
pretty
a
good
personal
content.
YouTube and you have a business.
Yes, I have a
YouTube
personal
channel.
YouTube, which is so dumb. It's
Our
just
travel.
our
He put
travels.
so much effort into our travel videos back in the day. Oh
It's
my gosh.
so
Travel
corny.
vlogs?
It's
Yep,
so
travel
corny.
vlogging.
It's so corny. It was, so bad.
Where you had a selfie stick and you were diving off a cliff.
No,
somewhere.
dude, I had fucking a gimbal. I would go. I had all my gear with
So
me.
much. Yep. You like
Travel.
record him like himself
Did I
running
tell
in the
you
mornings.
that?
Like
Did I ever tell you I got stopped? I think I'm on the blacklist in Mexico. I can't go to Mexico with all my gear anymore. I can't
Well,
shoot weddings in Mexico anymore.
They only allow you 2 cameras.
yeah,
Per
And
person, right?
walked
Per
in
person.
with,
So
like,
they were like, "Sir, how many cameras you got? 2
You just have to
together?
pay.
No, she has 2 also. I misspoke. So we have total. We have 4. Is that all you guys?
so
Is that all
they
you
pulled
got?
that stuff to the side.
All right, let's see your bags.
Yeah.
Open
Yep.
up all your bags.
Open
Yeah.
up all your bags.
You just have to
Cameras
pay.
came out.
Yeah. You just have
I
to
had a
pay.
drone. I had a drone,
Yeah.
a GoPro, my vlogging camera, my small vlogging camera.
What are you
and-
filming a movie?
No, those are not my work cameras. These are my personal cameras. You know what I mean?
Just his personal stuff.
Why?
You know?
They count
This
it
is
like
what- this is
did,
what I
everything.
did you
travel
have
with.
did you have
This
both
is what I
kids?
travel with.
This was for a wedding. We were
Okay.
there
We
for a
were there
wedding.
for a wedding, but I was also there. We were there for a couple of days
Yeah.
before for personal travel.
Did
So
they
I'm not-
flag you when you put your bag in that machine and it turned red?
I don't know when
They
they,
didn't even
flagged
put us
me.
through the machine. They saw our
Pelican cases.
Pelican cases.
Yeah,
they
What's in your bag?
instantly
Yeah.
pulled us over.
So what do you
yeah.
have in there? How
They
many
knew.
cameras? I was like
They
2.
knew. And then bride and groom were on the same flight, so they walked in with us, and they were like,
I tried to hand them my cameras. I was like, "Can you put
we're
this in your
like-
bag?" They were like, "No." Anyway,
They said no. Ah,
No. But like, I was
You're
like,
on
no,
your
I'm,
own, buddy.
no, I'm friends with them, right? I'm friends with these people.
Yeah, we're just
we're
here.
friends with the bride and groom. They're like, no, like you can't be in here with 9 cameras,
yeah.
man.
You can. You just have to pay the taxes.
yeah.
So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so you know what I ended up paying? I paid $100
Yeah.
in taxes. But
I think
don't-
it's like 20
That was
bucks
more of,
per camera.
that was a
Yep, for him.
whatever
Yep.
it was.
No, it's actually a legit law
Tax?
over there. Yeah, it's you pay per camera after 2, so it's like $20 per camera, something like that. 15
I
bucks.
don't recall,
Yeah.
but it was $100
Yeah.
I had to
But
pay.
the guy looked up the current price of all our gears.
Yeah.
This
And
is
then he
how
looked at my
much, this is how
website.
much-
He looked
yeah,
at everything.
yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, I am
How
so
much this
fucked."
is going. This is how much this is going, and
So I can't shoot
I'm like,
I
oh,
can't shoot
shit.
weddings. I can't shoot weddings in Mexico anymore.
God.
Yeah. Like,
That's
oh,
crazy.
shit.
All
You
these-
can for free.
I can't do it for free either. I
Oh,
don't
we
think
just have to not bring
You- go
bazillion stuff.
Marvin, I think you said something you wanted to talk about, like the state of video and social media and people's frustrations and things like that. I wasn't sure what you were
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to get
yeah.
at with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just when people hear video, you get two responses. I love video. I hate video. Yeah, I mean,
It sounded very serious.
That's it.
I think the frustration when it comes to video comes from people just don't have a plan. They think they follow a lot of people. Oh, use this trending sound, go viral, and that's their marketing. But like, there's so much more to that. Like I was talking about before, like how you can create video assets that can actually work in your business. Most of them don't even start there. They just hear TikTok, they hear Instagram Reels, they hear reach, and they just jump into it. Then they get frustrated because it doesn't work because one, they don't even know what they're trying to achieve when it comes to that. 'Cause I remember when Threads came out, there's a lot of discourse like, oh my gosh, we're so happy. We don't have to perform here. We don't have to like video, get all this stuff. And I'm just sitting back like, who told y'all video was supposed to be like this? And then, like I said, all they hear is like, oh, use this trending sound, do this to like,
Yeah.
that's not a plan. That's not a plan for video, And I always tell people, like, if you don't know what to do, just show something. Show, don't tell. Show if you have a product, you have a service, show it. If you did something cool with the client, a lot of my content is me with my clients, how I've helped them, what they're about, things like that. So definitely like stop looking at video as this like what's in it for me, but like what's in it for my client. I know they have a problem. I have a solution for it. How can I help them and get to that point? And I think a lot of it comes down to like people just don't really have a plan when it comes to social media. They just hear things and jump into it, then they get frustrated when it doesn't work. So
Yeah. That's what you need a strategy.
Yeah.
Don't just create any kind
intentional.
of content. Yeah.
be intentional with it. I think it's the biggest thing. Just like
Has to be speaking to us for us, a specific venue, a specific vibe. Like I know what my kind of clients are, so I create reels around that, about like, free flowing partiers, having a good time, create things around that. Not just like, oh, I had this great session, throw up a few pictures in a reel and then
Expect to get work from that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake. This is with photos too. When people are posting up content, they're basically creating a giant billboard for themselves, and it's like me, right? But the thing is, you got an audience on the other side of that transaction, so to speak, right? And how you really going to get their attention is like, what's in it for them to consume your content? You know what I mean? Because if you're just promoting yourself nonstop, and I think that's the biggest struggle that I think some folks might encounter. You're not actually talking to the other person on the other end of that conversation. You know what I mean? Photo, video, or anything. You know what I mean?
And putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
having your face out.
So that's great what you're doing. Like you're like, hey, listen, this is what you can do here. This is what you can have. This is how we can
You
serve
also
you.
solve a problem that they think they have, but they don't. Like
Mhm.
you can say, "Oh, I've been at your venue. Like I
Mhm.
know where all the best spots are.
Mhm.
I know where the best light is, and the right away, yeah, I'm gonna hire this person because they've worked at my venue and stuff like that. So you're just giving them a solution to a problem they didn't have,
Mhm.
which is awesome.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm at the same venue every weekend.
Lives there.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But your
nice.
client's
it's good
never
at
been
that.
there. So,
Huh?
but your client's never been there. So
Yeah.
They've never
creating
been
that
there.
content
But
can
they're
help
like,
them.
when they
so.
Google that venue, that's my name is all over the first 10 pages of Google. I don't complain. I'm happy.
Yeah. The hardest thing is at least for me, we work at one venue a lot too, and it's trying to produce something different. Yes, the client's never been there, so they're gonna want the same stuff that you've shot,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but you also want to tell a different story and create something a little different.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard when you're there all the time, and
Yep.
it's just like
Central Park. How many times can you shoot under those arches in front of the
I
fountain?
can't.
Central
Yeah.
Park. Yeah,
I
I
can't go
actually
back
love
there.
going to Central Park.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I love being there.
It is gorgeous,
but
Yeah.
also-
I think we're doing our family photos there, right?
Brooklyn, we're doing Brooklyn.
Okay, never mind.
But
I don't know
it's
anything.
also like a session.
It's just
where-
carrots and the kids.
Oh my gosh, you're not invited. You didn't know. What family?
She told you Central Park. Well, they'll be in Brooklyn.
We'll see you.
Stay here for a little bit.
The family photo is actually taken
Just
in
hold on to
Brooklyn.
Ellie. Stay here for a little bit.
Just me and the dog in Central Park. I'm like, where's that photographer? He told me to be here at 8 o'clock, but I don't see anybody.
But
Anyway, finish with your story.
yeah,
Sorry.
so Central Park, I know what they want. I know what I need to get and deliver, and it's quick. If they're a couple that have good chemistry, that's even better for me. Then I already know. When it's the couples that I got to work a little harder to extract some of that energy from. But I love it. The atmosphere there, the dogs running around in the morning. Then I get breakfast right after. I love it.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, Marvin's got to deal with that too. He's been working with his commercial clients, trying to get things out of people. It's not doesn't come naturally to them.
Yeah, no.
But you don't have dogs running around to distract them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing is about a client is like they really trust when they work with me, like they trust me. There's never been a situation where like they just hired me and like I'm just like commanding me around. That doesn't really happen. Obviously, it's a partnership, but they coming to me because I am the expert and they're gonna trust me to help them get what they want out of it. So they're going into it, they already know like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Because why? I put content out. I show them my process. They see it. They see it for themselves. So there's never a point where they're coming in and like they don't really know. Like they do know. They see it.
Do you ever get clients that are like they want to be too hands-on on the process?
Never.
That's awesome.
When I say they trust. And also too, I don't really work with like companies where it's like 3 people down. Like I don't speak to the owner. Like that doesn't really vibe with me. It's more like I'm with the business owner. They usually have an assistant or someone who helps them with stuff. But like they're on the calls with. They're not. It's not like 3 people down. I'm not speaking to them. It's like,
Yeah, because like the message starts to get interpreted differently once you start going down different channels, opposed to the owner, CEO, or founder.
Yeah, they have to be involved.
Yeah.
I like to be with the decision makers because that's when things can really.
Yeah, and plus they're writing the checks.
Yeah, that's right. This segment is brought to you by the Focus AF Summit.
There's the radio voice.
Yeah. So for those
Do
of you guys,
we have any other ads? Do you have anyone else paying us?
we're not even getting paid by the summit either. So you guys are gonna take what you can get. All right. So
If any companies would like to sponsor an episode
We
of
should
the
start
podcast,
we'd like to do another ad.
Yeah, we should start talking about just
Oh,
brand.
you know what?
that we want.
We could talk about that. That could be an ad read too. Like where we just talk about the summit and stuff. It's like, where did I first meet the Molinas?
WPPI.
WBI, Las Vegas, Sin City.
Sin City. But it was just me that you guys met, right?
Right.
Why was that?
Again, the story again.
So, from what I understand, Karis wasn't feeling good.
No. From what I understood, Karis was sending out contracts and invoices.
All right, so we have two different stories now.
The real
The
story
real
is
story.
What was the real story?
I was mad at you and I refused to go.
He woke up too early.
It wasn't. It was an afternoon meeting. She's like, I don't need to meet with these people.
Something happened and I was like, okay, I got mad at you and I was like, okay,
No, because you didn't want to go to the meetup.
No, I decided not to go.
So
You can go by yourself.
That's exactly what happened. So I went by myself and I met with Jen and Rome over at WPPI. I don't know, 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
around that time. Was it our first WPI?
Yes.
It was.
I think that was our first two. Yeah, that was our first two. And this was arranged by someone else, remember?
Yeah.
There was another photographer in the community, right?
Yeah.
And she showed up.
Did she stay? No.
But the thing is, up until that point, I don't know about you guys, but I was just keeping my head down and working. And we did okay for ourselves. We were paying the bills and whatnot, but our business was a little bit stagnant. And that's why we wanted to go to these conferences, these workshops, to kind of, see if there were any opportunities for us to improve in our craft and how we were running our business and all that good stuff, right? What we didn't expect was, meeting the Molinas. Honestly, I think our lives have definitely been enriched because of that.
Aww.
No takebacks. It's a recording.
You're stuck with us now. I mean, there's no moving away.
But yeah, I think one of the greatest values that we've always taken from these conferences and workshops, because we've done WPPI, we've also done imaging for the first time this year. We've also traveled abroad to attend these other workshops and conferences and stuff like that. The instructors are great. A lot of the stuff that we learned in these classes and seminars, it's all great information. But I think the greatest value that we were able to take home with us were these relationships with all these other super talented folks in our industry that we can call our friends. There's so much to learn from our fellow colleagues, and
So true.
you can't learn that in the classroom. So anyway, so that's why Karis and I, we decided to start our own summit. There's no reason why we can't have this in our own backyard in New Jersey, right? So that's why we're hosting the Focus AF Summit in January next year. And our special guest today, Marvin Flavien, is going to be one of our speakers, one of our distinguished speakers.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Dun, 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 dun.
Don't want to miss it.
So, Marvin.
Settle down, Funk Flex.
So, Marvin, tell us what you're going to be sharing with our awesome audience and our awesome attendees. What are you going to be sharing with us?
Since we're going to have a lot of time together, I'm just going to break it down, the whole process of how to navigate the world of video in the visual era. I'm going to give you actionable steps you can take. I'm even going to break down like our blueprint a little bit, how to get you started with video, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to show you content. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to even show you some of our like examples of how you can go about ways in content. And even if you're in the crowd, if you're in the attendance, I might even just raffle off a free video business card.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
I want it.
So you need to be there to get that. So
Be there.
Be there. All right. Our first giveaway.
Yep.
Now I gotta think of a giveaway too now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already mentioned it.
T-shirts?
What was it? What was it? If we get 100, we'll get a T-shirt cannon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if we get 100, I can afford a T-shirt. It's
cannon?
$750 for a T-shirt cannon, y'all. We're gonna do.
We'll rent one now.
No, we're gonna have to
You
do
could,
a
you could
T-shirt
throw,
slingshot.
you could throw
All right.
potatoes in it too.
Do your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that free gift.
Yeah, some lucky person,
Yeah.
lucky attendee will have a video business card. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what I haven't talked about as far as pricing goes? Like, I think that the biggest struggle that many folks have with pricing is that sometimes they overplay their hand just a little bit. They have this IKEA syndrome. Marvin, have you ever heard the IKEA syndrome? The IKEA effect? So basically what it is like, you build this piece of furniture, you put all
You
this
appreciate
heart.
it more?
What's that?
you appreciate him.
Yeah, it's yours because you put all your heart and your effort and tears and blood and everything into creating this beautiful thing. But the thing is, it's only beautiful to you. You know what I mean? So to you, you value it more, but it doesn't necessarily mean that others feel the same way. So you have a lot of like, let's say folks who go out there and, they get $10,000 once because they got lucky. And now all of a sudden they think they should get $10,000 every time, even though they're probably more along the lines that $3,000 to $4,000 range. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm going to get canceled for saying that, for saying like, well, don't chase your dreams, but like,
But it's gotta be
you
realistic.
gotta be realistic,
Yeah.
You got lucky once, you got 10 grand once, doesn't mean that you're going to get that every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You should know what you have in your hands. You got to know what your offer is. You got to know where you stack up in the market.
Yeah, and your market and where you are matters too.
There's so many factors.
Yeah.
There are a billion different things. And and your product, the actual product itself, the photography or the video, the flowers or whatever it is, right? That's only a small part of the equation. And the thing that I'll be teaching this week in my ads course is that, your product isn't necessarily what you think it is. It's not the product. It's not the photos. It's not the albums. It's not the wall art. That's not the product. Product is the benefit or the solution that you are offering to the clients. That is the product. The product is not the photos. A lot of people are trying to sell the photos. And if you put it in that kind of frame of mind for the clients where they think, hey, I'm buying photos for $5,000 here. This guy's also offering photos for $5,000 here. Now it's like if you do it that way.
Now they're price shopping.
Now they're price shopping, right? But if you're saying, hey, listen, I solve these problems. I solve these problems. This is what I'm selling. I'm solving the solution to these problems that you're having. You're no longer selling photos. You're selling the solution. And when you put it in that frame of mind, right, it's harder for them to compare apples to apples with your competitors. Sorry, I just went on a rant there.
It's true.
Another pressing rant.
I just went on a rant there. That was my thing this week. That's what I've been teaching this week. On my Monday Live that 3 people went to.
It was Labor Day.
And also what I'm teaching this week in my ads course, like the product, the key thing for people to remember is that if you want to get top pricing, right? You want to get the best pricing for whatever it is that you're selling, right? Don't psych yourself out to believe that the product that you're selling is the thing that you think you're selling, which is like, the books or the photos or the wall art or the videos or whatever it is, right? The thing you're actually selling is the solution. And if you can kind of frame it that way, that should make you more competitive. That should allow you to fetch a higher price. What do you guys think?
I think it's accurate, very accurate. I tell people, I ask them who else they're talking to, and I tell them, you didn't hear that person's going out of business?
Ben Lau's no longer in business. Did you hear?
You cannot do that.
They're all out of business.
Ben Lau? He's got 3 brands, doesn't he? Yeah, they're all out of business. They all went out of business.
Don't hire Ben.
I hear he's a pervert.
He just filed for bankruptcy. You'll be lucky to get your stuff.
You guys didn't find him on Photo Stealers? You're like, they made a big feature about him on Photo Stealers.
I feel like once you learn, like what you were talking about, once you learn that early on, that it's not just the photos you're selling, you'll be a little bit more happier as well. And you won't compare yourself to others. Because when you're starting out, that's something that I was guilty of doing. I was looking at people in my market who I felt I was a better photographer than, and I just couldn't comprehend how they were charging double than what I was charging. I didn't understand that there's so many factors that go into your pricing, whether your branding, how sold out you are, and also how many weddings you do a year, what limits you have to what you're taking on for that year. That determines your price as well. So once I stopped worrying about that stuff, you're much more happier. You start worrying about your own business, your own pricing. Who cares what people are charging? And just stick to what works for you, what you need to charge, and just keep it that simple.
I think some people, they artificially raise their prices for their own egos, I think sometimes.
And then just what they see on social media too. There's so many information that's helpful, but there are information that doesn't apply to you. You know what I mean? I've seen planners put out stuff about like New York City, what things should cost.
Yeah.
I see so many posts where it's like, yeah, $10,000 wedding and $10,000 video, like minimum. That's really what it should cost. And I'm like,
You can get me for half of that price.
Selling yourself short, Ben.
Yeah.
And I'll even throw in the dad jokes
Well gone.
for free. And you'll get magnets.
But yeah, I think, what works for you is the most important.
For someone that's shooting 10 weddings a year versus someone that's shooting 50 weddings a year, they're going to charge less, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into pricing. And so that was my talk this week. So if you guys want to catch that, you can find me on, what is it? Kick-Ass Sales and Marketing with Ben Lau. You can find that on Facebook. Rolando Store is brought to you by the Focus AF Summit.
So this past Saturday at the wedding that we were shooting, we're doing some extended family photos during cocktail hour. So we're looking for a couple of family members. We finally find them, and we have some other family members behind me on standby. And as I'm taking pictures of, the family combination that we're doing, I just hear this gentleman. I hear him. He's like right next to me, and he's just shouting out to another relative. He's like, "Are you choking?" And the guy can't talk. He's just like he's turned like he can't even talk. He can't breathe, and he just shakes his head. Yes,
he's choking.
And the guy just like immediately runs behind him and does the Heimlich, and he just like pushes. He bear hugs him. And a big piece of steak just goes flying out of his mouth.
Did you get
no
photo?
Do you have pictures of it?
How about video?
No, there was no videographer.
Oh man, Marvin should have been there.
So pretty much it was just the three of us that really saw what happened.
Yeah.
And I turned around and we all the three of us just start laughing. And I look at the gentleman. I was like, "You just saved this man's life."
Oh my gosh.
And he was still recovering. And then Jen's calling out the next family combination, and he has to go into the photo, and he's still recovering from almost dying.
Who puts that big piece of meat in their mouth?
Oh, it was a big chunk of steak.
Oh my gosh.
He's probably hungry, just chowed it down. I guess because of the family combination, he probably just
Yeah.
Oh, I have a similar story, right? So I was doing reception at my favorite venue, right?
Your second home?
Yeah, my second home, basically, right? Right as the entrees were coming out, one of the guests seated at the table, right? I guess he went a little heavy during cocktail. All over the table, right? As the entrees are coming out.
Oh, I was there. I was there for this.
Right? And then I didn't see that part, right? But then I saw just him and his mom. They set up a little table just for them two off to the side. And he just had his head down the whole time. I'm like, what happened? He's like, yeah, Yeah,
the
he
whole
barfed
table
all over the food.
couldn't eat the
The-
food.
So
Yeah.
they had no food. They're like you had
Yeah.
10 people that had, well,
Yep.
8 others
The
who
whole
had no
table.
food.
Yep.
So-
it was like projectile.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
The
blah.
whole table was
Oh my
emptied out, and they had to
God.
redo the whole thing. So I was like, what happened to?
Gross.
And they're looking for the wait staff to make like
to get more
see if
food
there's
because they had
any
no
other
food,
food.
right?
So they were served like, I don't know,
The
cocktail
leftover
hour
cocktail
food.
food.
And, yeah.
oh, they didn't have more food for them.
Yeah, no.
No,
Yeah,
because
that's
the
true.
entrees are already
It was
pre
like-
it was
like the
measured.
whole
and
table.
pre-
you know,
like
so-
there's only like a select number of
Yeah.
extras.
Yeah.
And,
like,
and
I
then,
mean, I
yeah.
would have given them my vendor meal or not. I don't know. But
It depends what it was.
yeah, it depends what it was. I had
If it was
scallops
chicken
and
with
steak.
sauce?
I had scallop and steak this
Pretty
past
good.
weekend.
What venue? You could shout them out.
That same,
Yeah.
same venue.
Same venue, Maritime
Yeah.
Park.
Maritime
There you go.
Shout out
Park.
Maritime Park in the house. I'm gonna tag them when this podcast come out, right? So yeah, like they made a giant mess, and I felt so bad for those other 8 guests because they didn't get to
And
eat.
who want to eat after that?
Yeah, I'm
know.
like, listen,
I don't want
this is a biohazard area now. Like,
to evacuate.
Yeah.
Bro.
So
Yeah,
if there's
yeah.
a tip that we have for guests, just go easy. I like let's all have a good time, but like know yourself,
Yes.
Like you just have a good time. You don't
Don't-
have to get like you don't have to be like that.
don't
you
be
know?
a jerk
That
either. Don't be a
segues
freaking
into one
jerk.
wedding tea. Someone posted in the group. He did a wedding, I think on Friday. He was working for a studio, and the bride was so trashed from the minute
Oh,
prep
that's right.
started.
I know who posted it.
From
and
prep?
from prep, she was already drunk. She was already drunk. Trashed during the ceremony.
Oh.
Didn't get much portraits, and he was worried. Like, how do I handle these kind of situations?
Uh-huh.
Like, because he was working for a studio, and apparently, I guess she had already said something about, I guess, how she felt after she didn't get what she wanted, or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, or she feel like she didn't get the stuff
Oh,
that she wanted.
she came back to him after that?
Not to him, I guess, to the studio owner. Or
How would you
something.
remember?
I don't know, but that was one of the situations I say that's out of my hands. If I show up and you're
Yeah, drunk.
bomb,
We had a client like that
We had
too.
a bride
Like,
that was
She
drunk.
didn't even make it
Yeah.
out of her ceremony.
Yeah.
right? Like,
She passed out by cocktail. She was passed
Yep.
out.
Done.
She didn't. She was
She
not.
was drunk during portrait session too. Yep. This was PPS bride.
She just
Yeah.
passed out. She
Yeah.
missed her entire
so his
reception.
question was like, how do I handle things like this moving forward? I'm like,
Like-
you can't. That's
Yeah,
out of
like,
your
Listen,
hands.
Yeah, it's not-
I got proof that you were fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you want me to
Yeah,
do?
not
Like,
her fault.
I mean, I'll be more than happy to come out and do a 45-minute session with you, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have to pay me
Yeah,
for
you
that.
gotta pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not her fault.
I mean, we had a groom get really, really trashed at the beginning of his reception, disappeared the entire reception, was in the bridal suite.
There's some backstory to it though. Like,
yeah, he had lost weight and didn't know his new limits. So he was gone. Like, gone.
He didn't do it intentionally.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got-
He was really sweet about it. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
emailed us
yeah.
after apologizing, but his family really wanted to get photos of him cutting the cake and
Mhm.
whatever. So they were like, our time was up. They were like, we'll pay you the OT if we can get him to sober up to cut this cake.
Yeah.
We sat there an hour. They did not get to sober him up within that hour.
Yeah, he
So
was.
we had
he
to
was done.
leave.
Yeah.
He was done.
Yeah.
And they felt bad, and he felt bad. He sent us an email afterwards.
Go easy on the sauce, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
It's your
you're
wedding
21
day,
again
yeah.
or something like
and
that.
and the family was right. The family was like, the reason like they told us to stay was like because it was like, you don't understand, like if he's not able to cut the cake, he's never gonna forgive himself. So we're like, all right. They convinced us to stay, and we did nothing that hour, so we just charged them half because we felt bad.
uh-huh.
And the relatives were right. The next day, we had an email from him apologizing. He was like, "This is not a
Aw.
reflection of who I am."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I felt, I was
yeah.
like, "Oh shit," you know.
Mhm.
Oh.
But he was fine. It was just like as soon as the reception started, people kept pulling him away to take shots, and then
Yeah.
Good.
Sounds like my bachelor party.
then after that, it was good night.
Yeah.
yeah.
See
Yeah,
you
but it's one of
later.
those things that are out of your. I say it's out of your control, out of your
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I once had the officiant pass out. He's throwing up in the toilet and passed out
Oh,
on the
that was
toilet.
the officiant was of
A friend.
guest
I was
friend.
like, it was not a priest,
Yeah,
right?
no, no, no. And that was at the end of the reception. Yeah,
I was
they
like-
were like, there was like a
I was
five
like,
I
people.
thought he
on
was
the
like
toilet.
throwing
There were
out during
like
the
five
ceremony.
people passed out in that bathroom.
I was,
that
like,
day.
I was like, who's on the
It
toilet?
was like it was one of the drunkest wedding, other than our St. John's wedding. Did
Yeah.
we talk about our St. John's wedding here?
No.
No.
Oh my gosh,
What-
Drunkest wedding ever in my career.
drunkest and
Like-
So I showed up to the rehearsal dinner.
This segment is brought to you by a bottle of Jameson.
Actually, that's what they were drinking.
yeah,
Yeah, there we
Jameson.
go.
So usually when we do these destination weddings, we usually include the rehearsal dinner because we're already they're paying so much money for us to be there, hotel and airfare. I'm like, I can hang out with you guys for another hour or 2 hours.
We do
night
the same,
before.
and it's also a great time to get to know everybody.
Exactly. So I'm like, you guys are paying so much money for me to be here. I'll come hang out with you guys. So we arrived to rehearsal dinner, and when I arrived on site, when I got to the driveway, I looked up. There was a Jeep Wrangler in the trees. Like, how how did that Jeep Wrangler get up there, right? Apparently, one of the guests stole the groom's car because the key was hidden under the rug, right? That what a dumb place to hide a key, right? But anyway, stole the car, drove it off a cliff, landed in a tree, and they had to fish him out. Look at Marvin's face. And then once they pulled him out, they beat the shit out of him. They're like, dude, you could have ruined
Like
this couple's
literally,
wedding.
yep.
Oh my god.
Like you almost
So
died.
many things could have gone wrong.
beat the
Like, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right, and I was just eavesdropping. So it's like, yeah, I hit him, but it was open handed. It wasn't close fisted or anything like that. I was like, it doesn't make it any better.
Slap of death.
Oh my god.
But he wasn't allowed to drink the following day. You know, so everyone was
course not.
partying, and he was just in the corner, like he had his hands caught in a cookie jar or something. He didn't drink.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've photographed this circle of friends for many years, and I saw every time I see this guy's face, I remember
The car.
I was like,
Yeah.
I
Jeep
remember you,
Wrangler.
dude.
I'm like,
Jeep Wrangler, yeah, you. Yeah.
did you like remind him? Like,
No.
I would have.
I know who you
I'm sure
are.
he knows.
100%.
He
He
knows.
knows.
He knows.
I'd be like, are you the guy that got the Jeep Wrangler fucking stuck on the tree?
Almost died night before the
See,
wedding.
You don't get these exciting stories, Marvin. Working
You
with
don't get these
commercial
with,
clients.
you don't get these with commercial clients, right? Yeah.
Gotta add a couple of weddings to spice up your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any wedding tea to share with us, send us a message. Email us
To where?
so we can
To where?
share with everyone. You can email us at hello@focus-af.com.
Woo!
I
got it.
All right, Marvin, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere, anywhere video is being played. MK Flav Video. You can check me out at mkflavvideo.com. Or if you're looking for resources and anything for video, check out videomarketingwithmarvin.com.
Yeah. Any chance we're going to see you in a red costume at the Focus AF Summit?
Cosplay? You gonna show up with cosplay?
Probably not.
No. You know what? What if I say, if we can get 200 attendees, you'll show up in costume?
I'll do it.
200.
I'll even perform a song.
He'll show us his kung fu moves and everything. Right? Oh, man. But let me see here. Just to make it fair, I'll come in costume too. We hit 200. I'll come in costume. We can battle it out on the stage.
Let's do
I'm
it.
gonna need you to make an actual social media post about this so we can share it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll dress up.
Make it legit.
You
get
show
200,
show
we
up
get
as
200 tickets.
like Pink Panther.
Pink Panther. That's not scary enough. I need to be like really scary. Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out those details. I got
200.
200. We get 200 attendees. I'm good for it. I'll come in costume.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can't present in costume.
Why not?
Later, you two are gonna do something.
I'll do my keynote in a costume. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I guess
Thank you, Marvin.
Marvin,
Yeah,
thank
we
you so much for
appreciate it.
joining us
Appreciate
today.
it. Teaching us all about video, convincing us to go on YouTube, convincing Ben to put his stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll work on it. I'll work on it. But learn so much about video marketing. I thought I knew a lot, but certainly learned much more hanging out with Marvin today. So
Yep.
hopefully you guys learned a whole bunch as well.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, if you guys enjoyed hanging out with us today, you guys can check out more of our bloopers, highlights, and behind the scenes stuff at focused.af on Instagram. You guys can also check us out on our website at focus-af.com. where you can just listen to all our episodes on our podcast. You can also download our podcast anywhere fine podcasts are downloaded, on Apple or Spotify, wherever you guys download your podcast. Did I do pretty good today?
You did it completely
Yeah.
today. Look at that.
You guys impressed?
Woo, thoroughly impressed.
So anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hope you guys are focused AF. You guys focused AF?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
you.
All right, on that note.
I'm hot AF. I tell you
Hot.
that.
How are you hot? This is our new
Nice.
studio. This is our
Nice.
summer studio.
It's like 95 degrees outside.
No, it's not so bad. You,
Wait,
you guys,
Are you
Focus
hot in here?
Both.
Why are you hot in here? Are you hot? Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm never hot.
I'm
All
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Bye,
Anyway,
guys.
Bye.
See you guys later.
See you later.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jen and Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you focused AF?
I am focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.